Have you come to Nelson seeking your death, profligate? Forgive my challenge. I'll take you to my decanus at once. Awe, why have you come to Nelson? Not all of us have the luxury of coming and going as we please. Here, we stay put. My orders are to hold Nelson. So far, the enemy north of here has been too frightened to move against us. Why should it concern you? I have attacked the enemy. I led the assault on Nelson with 2 Contubernia against twice our number. It is Caesar's wish that we hold this position. Our mere presence this side of the Colorado humiliates and demoralizes the enemy. I do not question Caesar's will. I do not second guess. I butchered this town. Those who weren't hacked limb from limb were forced to throw themselves from the cliffs. 3 more I have just crucified. All this in full view of the enemy's spotters to the north. Yes, our presence here demoralizes the enemy. You are not my centurion. You aren't even legion. I do not carry on at your command. True to Caesar.
Awe. True to Caesar.
You're the courier I've heard so much about. My squad needs your assistance. My squad was ambushed by a Legion party led by that bastard Alexis. He was taking us into the mine up ahead, but I managed to get away. I need help to get them out. There's a slim chance, but if the Legion wanted us dead, our heads would already be on pikes. I understand. Here's what I have on me. Now go before it's too late.
True to Caesar. True to Caesar.
Morning. True to Caesar.
True to Caesar.
Hail, son of Caesar. Only the brave or the dutiful venture into this pit. State your purpose in our stronghold. Ah, yes, our little canaries. Come to bargain for their souls, have you? I must warn you that I am no merchant, and these men will remain here until they have served their purpose. This is Lord Caesar's will. We squeeze from their mouths the secrets of the bear, patrol schedules, troop movements, etc. Of course, weak-willed filth like them are not entrusted with much, but their cries build our morale all the same. Soon they will be discarded husks. A bold offer. But as I've said, I am no merchant and these animals are not for sale. You may try again later, but they may not be fit for labor then. Your point is well taken. Fine. Will you be paying in caps or denarii? Here is the key to their holding cells. Do not make me regret this transaction.
True to Kaiser.
You think I don't see that?
The Legion will pay for this.
Oh, you think I don't see that?
I'm getting out of here. So any word on my friends? They must have run straight back to camp. I bet they didn't even stop and say thanks. The NCR could use someone like you. Stop by our camps if you're looking for work. I'm glad to see you here. We could definitely use your help. I can spare a few moments. Make it quick. Not good. We still haven't gotten any support from the rest of the NCR, and the Legion is kicking our ass right now. It's no picnic, I'll tell you that much. My troops are out here every day dying for the NCR, but they've left us out to dry. We have no men or supplies, and we're stretched too thin trying to guard the entire river. If the brass back home could get their heads out of their asses long enough to send support, we could turn this all around. Make it quick. I've got the Legion at Nelson breathing down my neck and not enough men or supplies to get this camp into fighting shape so we can strike back. I need someone to talk to a few of the officers and help them resolve some of the problems around here. If I can get this place in order, then I can focus our efforts on taking back Nelson from the Legion. And the more that gets done around here, the more resources I'll be able to put into assaulting Nelson. Good. Let's not waste time then. Our biggest problems right now are supplies and troops, and the Legion is draining us both. Quartermaster Mays has been complaining to me non-stop about the lack of supplies. But unfortunately, we aren't getting a resupply anytime soon. I want you to speak with him and see if there's anything you can do for him. Patrolling the Mojave almost makes you wish for a nuclear winter.
It's Mr. New Vegas letting you know I've got a new Christmas compilation coming out.
Look who we have here. Always nice to see a friend of the NCR. What can I do for you? I've been placed in charge of morale. It's difficult trying to keep spirits up with the Legion nearby. In fact, there's more hope in wrangling Brahmin with my grandmother's stocking than inspiring these troopers. Ironic, isn't it? But it's understandable. The constant skirmishes take their toll on everyone in the end. I call that an understatement. But I can't complain. I'm not in the field as much as the others. I just stay here most of the day, coming up with activities to occupy the camp. Which reminds me of something I've been meaning to try. A killer competition to boost morale. Interested? All right, calm down, buddy. I don't want to provoke you. I'll let you ask the questions. Lower than a feral ghoul's IQ. I haven't started it yet. Are you interested to hear about it now? Great. Since the camp is threatened by Legion, I propose a hunt. Kill any you encounter and bring me the Legion's ear as proof. You get it? Legion ear? Yep, been waiting for a chance to use it. So can I count you in? Great. Don't be surprised if you're already last when you return. If I'm right, the troopers will use any excuse to slaughter Legion's scum. Can I help you with anything else? See you later.
We're getting close to Nelson. Any closer, I'm shooting any legionary I see. Hope that's not a problem. Damn right. You and I, we're just a couple of problem solvers.
Hold up there. This area is locked down by the NCR military until we can dislodge some Legion snakes from Nelson. Oh, heck. I've heard of you. Supposed to be a regular hero or something, ain't that right? But maybe you're a little too reputable to get involved in some dirty work for the Republic. Well, I'll be damned. Looks like you've got some dirt in you after all. If you had a few dozen doses of Psycho on you, maybe we could pep those weepy troopers into charging down into Nelson and taking back the camp. But since that's not likely, you could help me take out the Legion's trooper hostages. The troopers won't go down into camp with their comrades at risk. Dirty game the Legion likes to roll out whenever they get a chance. Problem is, Ranger Milo doesn't want to play. If we take out the hostages, they've got squat for leverage. Back at Ranger School, they taught us not to run headlong into a battle when you're outnumbered 10-1. You want to go down there and try to haul those crippled boys off those poles? You're dumber than you look. Good. We clear out the hostages, they lose their advantage. They're down in a clearing, crucified on some telephone poles. I'll cover you from the ridge. Just make it quick. These boys should be put out of their misery, not plinked to death with some old varmint rifle. And don't get any dreamy notions about playing the hero and dragging these boys out. You'll get swarmed. Now let's go.
To hell with mercy killing. We're getting those guys out of there.
That takes care of that.
Keep fighting!
Mercy killing's a last resort. I'm glad you recognized we had options.
Howdy. What's the word? I have to admit, I didn't think you could do it. Guess that makes me the sap and you the hero. I'm not authorized to pay for contract work, but here's something for the effort, and I'll make sure everyone hears about what you did. Thanks.
Mercy killing is expected of NCR snipers. The Legion likes to torture their prisoners within sight of NCR positions. We get called on to end it. I've had my share. Some of them, you think. Maybe you could have gotten them out. Maybe it's not the Legion that got them killed. Maybe it's your orders and you following them. We won. Look, we've done some traveling together, but we're not exactly comrades in arms. I'm not ready to swap war stories. Maybe some other time. If you want, it's not really my thing. What do you want to know? Carla's dead. That's all you need to know. Yeah.
Death to profligate!
Can't run from me. Take him out.
Die, coward! Death to the Legion's enemies!
All mine.
Whoa, boy! This puts you far ahead of everyone else. I think I'll have to declare you the winner of the competition. It's not much, but here's a little something I scraped together for the winner of the contest. Good job. You earned it.
Nice to see a friendly face around here. We don't get many visitors of your esteem. Something I can do for you? Not good. If we don't get more supplies, we're gonna have to start using dirt for food and sticks and rocks for weapons. Hey, how'd you like to do something for me? I want you to collect NCR dog tags from our fallen troopers. That way I can keep track of who's gone and how to reallocate our supplies. It's easy. Just bring back any NCR dog tags you find, and I'll try to make it worth your while. If you're looking for supplies, I'll make this easy for you. There aren't any. But something tells me you're not here for that. What do you want? Me? Well, I've been doing this shit for far too long and I've been in too many battles to remember. Still, this has got to be one of the worst situations I've been in. Not too much I can do about it, but do my job and do it right. Good work. If you find any more, you know where to find me. So, the Major has you running errands for him. Well, we're short on personnel as well as supplies, so we'll take all the help we can get. Bad. I've been doing this a long time, and I haven't been in many places that were worse than this. We've been out here on the front lines for a long time without any reinforcements or resupplies. That's what I need your help for. I sent some troops out to find more supplies, but they never returned. I need you to track them down and help them bring back the supplies. I sent them to Helios 1 to see if they had any supplies they could spare. They gotta be somewhere between here and there. I'd try searching the main road or checking with the men at Helios 1 to see if they know anything. Thanks. Watch your back out there. Never know when those Legion bastards might show up.
What is it? Yeah, they were here a while ago. Gave them all I could, which wasn't much. But as many problems as we're having here, I know they've got it worse. I've seen soldiers get assigned there. It's like they got told they were gonna die. I wouldn't wish it on anybody. If you're trying to track them down, we put a GPS marker in the supply crate. You can track it with your Pip-Boy. Good luck.
Company. Can't run from me. All clear.
I still don't have any supplies to spare. Is there something else I can help you with? I take it my men were dead. It's a high price to pay, but these supplies will save a few lives here. Thanks for finding these. You should check in with the Major. He'll want to know about this.
I heard you won Private Sexton's little contest. Congratulations. It's nice to have morale up around here. I heard. The extra supplies will help for a short time, but that only solves one of our problems. With all the Legion raids lately, we're running low on troops that can still fight. Some are injured, but even more are dead. I want you to check in with Dr. Richards and see if he needs any help getting our troops back on the front line. Hello? I'm always a sucker for a pretty face. What can I do for you, my fine dear? What would you like to know? I used to be a doctor back in California, but a few years back I got suckered into doing military work because it was my patriotic duty. Back then, I, like many idealistic men before me, thought it was a great idea and was excited about making the world a better place with the NCR. Now I just want to get back home. I've had enough fighting and fixing up soldiers just to send them right back out to die to last a lifetime. If I was a mortician, business would be booming. As a doctor, business is hard. Too many injuries that I can't do anything about. Men have waged war on each other for countless centuries. Now is no different. People fight and die for what they believe in. I'm just here to patch them up so they can go on their merry way. do no harm and all that. Sometimes it does feel that way. I feel like a mortician than a doctor. Often I just don't have the resources to handle the number of injuries here. To make things worse, I think someone might be stealing my supplies. The simple fact that I no longer have as many supplies as I should. I've been careful with them, and I should have more than what remains. Unfortunately, I don't have time to go searching for the missing supplies since I have my hands full with injured soldiers. I store a variety of drugs here, but it looks like my supply of Hydra is diminishing rather quickly. Excessive use causes dilated eyes and increased heart rate and blood pressure, massive sweating, you know, the usual. Locked in a cabinet here in the medical tent. I'm around most of the time, but I can't keep a constant watch on them. That would definitely be appreciated. You might want to ask around, and keep an eye out for anything suspicious. I think it just got a little bit hotter in here. Is there something I can do for you? With business booming like it is, and considering I'm the only person with medical experience in the camp, I could perhaps use a hand. Do you have any medical experience? Excellent. As you can see, we have a lot of injured troopers here, and I haven't had time to look at all of them yet. Since you have some medical experience, I'd like you to examine them and see what you can do to treat them. There's my little buttercup. What can I do for you? Excellent job. Where'd you learn to do all that? I don't think I could have done much better myself. Very impressive. As for the men, they'll recover soon and be back on the front lines in no time. Huh, the circle of life. I'll send word to Major Politely about your work here. Once again, you have my sincerest thanks.
I've heard of you. Did you figure on coming out here and helping us lowly troopers out? My problem is we're all going to die. We're out of food, we're out of men, and we're out of time. The Legion is right outside waiting to kill us all. Today, tomorrow, it doesn't matter. We're all going to die here. So why don't you just leave me alone? You kidding me, man? How are things? They're all fucked up, that's how things are. Everyone is either starving or dying out here. Left out to dry by the rest of the NCR. Fuck this place. I'd rather be anywhere else but here. Missing medical supplies? No, I don't know anything about that. What? Oh shit, how the fuck? Oh man, I'm in some deep shit now. Look, I can explain everything. Really, just give me a chance to explain. Have you looked around? Have you seen what's going on here? What we're going through? This place is hell. I've seen all my friends butchered by the Legion in front of my very eyes. I can still hear their screams at night. All I wanted was a little escape, so I took some drugs to help me do that. Is that so bad? I never thought about that. But look, I needed this. I needed to escape for just a little while. I needed this. So what happens now? What? You want me to turn myself in? Why the hell should I do that? I guess you're right. I'll do the right thing and turn myself in.
There's my little buttercup. What can I do for you? I heard Private Stone turned himself in for stealing my medical supplies. You have my thanks. I appreciate you doing this for me. Here's a little something for your trouble. It's not much, but it's all I can spare. My pleasure. Thanks again. We're kind of busy around here for social calls, so if you're not here to help out, just stay out of my way. Dr. Richards said you did a good job in there. That's mighty high praise coming from him. With the help you've given us, we're doing a little bit better, but we still have the Legion forces at Nelson to deal with. If we can retake Nelson, that will be a huge help to our efforts in this area and give us an advantage at Hoover Dam. Reports have the Legion forces at Nelson sizable, but not insurmountable. We've been reinforced fairly well thanks to your help. I'd say the odds are in our favor. However, if you help out a little more around the camp, we'd be in a good enough position to send our best men to help retake Nelson.
Hey.
Hey, you're not one of the troopers. Got a second? I have work I need done and nobody here at the camp has the time or inclination to help me out. I handle communications for Camp Forlorn Hope, compiling reports I've received from the Rangers at Camp Golf as well as the brass at McCarran. Unofficially, I'm also in charge of radio security. No one else seems to take it as seriously as I do. I have the delightful task of tabulating stockpiles, kill ratios, mission success rates, radiation deaths, and other truly fascinating numbers. I've come across numerous inconsistencies between our numbers and our reports, especially with regards to intercepting hostiles. I'm wondering if our radio security codes have been compromised. I need someone to deliver security code upgrades to each of the ranger stations. Less than a third of reported enemy sightings are getting intercepted. Either our intel is faulty, or our enemies are one step ahead of us. I've been trying to get someone to authorize this update, or at the least get field clearance to leave the camp and do this myself. But nobody takes me seriously. They just think I'm an incompetent desk jockey trying to glamorize the importance of my job. The security codes are unique to the radios at each ranger station. They're useless anywhere else. This holotape contains the updated security codes for the ranger stations. Show it to the comm officers there. Once the new codes are in use, anyone still using the old codes will just hear static if they're listening in on our frequencies. Bye.
Oh, hell. What is it now? I've been here since the first push into Vegas. Back in the day, this camp was the hotspot for conflicts with the Legion, Raider tribes, you name it. These days, I spend most of my time trying to beat a little discipline into the soldiers under my command. They've gotten soft with no action. Yeah, well, somebody has to wrangle those washouts and losers. Somebody's got to turn them into a real fighting force. Man, it's my life. I joined up when I was 16. I don't know how to do anything else. Yeah, well, I didn't want to get promoted out of the field. I didn't join up to drive a desk. Disappointed. We call them the misfits for a reason. They're undisciplined, lazy, and they have absolutely no esprit de corps. The squad leader's got some promise, kid named Mags. But as for the rest, I don't see much hope. I'm going to make them shape up if it kills me, though. Or them, for that matter. You're welcome to try. Hell, maybe they'll listen to somebody they don't see as an authority figure. Yeah, whatever.
Hello. Y'all sure are a big old hero. I gotta write my mama and tell her I met you. Well, I was born on a farm out in California. Weren't much. Me, Ma, and Pa, my two sisters, and about 40 acres of corn and Brahmin. Didn't ever have no problems, really, except for some lean years. Then I joined up and got shipped out here to New Vegas. They're mostly pretty nice. Poindexter showed me how to make fireworks. Raz kind of scares me sometimes, but I don't mind. He's had a hard life. Oh, it's a fine place. The lake is real pretty, and we don't get bothered much by them Legion fellers. Well, as it turns out, we had a string of bad harvests a few years back. Pa said he couldn't afford to feed but 3 youngins or we'd starve. As the biggest one, it was my job to go join the army so's my sisters could eat, and so's we wouldn't all be killed by raiders, and Jesus would love us. It's all right, I guess. I don't like all the fighting we gotta do, though. I ain't scared. I just don't like hurting folks is all. Ma always used to tell me, boy, you're the biggest and the strongest, so you mind yourself. Every day she told me that. Guess I done took it to heart. To me? I'll tell you what I think this squad needs. A little more basic human niceness. That's right. Folks just don't talk to other folks. And everybody's always cross with each other. That'd be swell. Only if they knew the idea came from me, they probably wouldn't take you serious no more. So maybe you ought to think about it first. And I sure hope you're more convincing than I am, or they ain't gonna listen. Whatever you think's best. Toodaloo.
I'm assuming you aren't associated with the Army or the Rangers. What can I do for you? To what purpose? It's highly unlikely you'd understand anything I'd say. Suffice to say, I'm a certified genius, and when I'm discharged from this pit of testosterone and failure, I'll have all the money I could ever need. In a strictly official capacity, no. However, as I am by far the most intelligent and resourceful figure on this base, I feel it's safe to say the soldiers here look up to me. I suppose if you must stick with your narrow, parochial view of in charge, then yes, it's a no. Are we done? It's a simple idea. The Army offers fiscal security and generous benefits at the cost of substantial personal risk, if you're on the front line. If you perform too poorly, they'll scrub you out. Perform too well, and you get sent to the front lines. All I have to do is ride that mediocrity gradient to a cushy, do-nothing job miles away from the war. That seems highly illogical. What reason would he have for doing that? This is an unexpected variable. I had hoped to coast on an easy wave of mediocrity to a cushy government pension. Your insults are both unhelpful and unwanted. I'll thank you to keep them to yourself. I somehow suspect you'll be back to converse with me later.
Hey.
Oh shit, here comes the brown noser. What you want? Ain't much to tell. Grew up out west, in the boneyard. Heard of it? Yeah, not many people have. Wasn't really a good place for kids, you know? I joined up to get out. My family's still back there. We don't talk too much, mostly. Poindexter's a smart-ass prick. O'Hanrahan's a big pussy, ain't good for shit in a fight. And Mags? Well, Mags is cut out for something other than soldiering, you dig? Whatever. Not like I need any of them. I do just fine on my own. What do you want to know? Whole place used to be some kind of rich bastard resort back before the war. Now the Rangers use the old resort and we grunts get to live in tents. Fucking typical. Shit, man, it was this or the Fiends. And Fiends don't last too long in the NCR. At least this way the badasses with the top shelf guns are on my side. Yo, I'll tell you what this squad needs. A healthy dose of angry juice. Psycho, the big red one. I used to run with the Fiends. I still got the hookups. Smuggle some in and you'll see an improvement. Whatever. Right.
I'm not supposed to know this, but I hear they're dispatching elite ranger units from California to deal with the Legion. Not much to tell, really. I grew up in New Reno, joined up, took my shot at being a ranger, didn't make it, so I'm stuck with this crew of jokers. Gee, I don't know. Maybe because I'm saddled with the worst damn unit in the NCR Army. Think that might have something to do with it? Yeah, I mean, no, they're okay people, but they don't care, you know? They don't have any ambition, no drive. They're slacking off, and that reflects badly on me. Please. Camp Golf is where they shuffle off anybody they don't want anymore. Assignment here is a career ender. Easy. This is where they send all the fuck-ups and people they don't want. But hey, it's not like I'm bitter or anything. I guess I wanted to make something of myself, you know? Be the best of the best. I wanted to be a ranger, but guess this is as close as I get. He did, huh? Well, good luck with that. You'd have an easier time teaching rad roaches to march in formation. Well, if you ask me, what we really need is to get this whole squad out on the practice range, shape up our marksmanship and explosive skill. I'm sure the others have their own ideas, though. Are you sure? I've got enough clout to get them started, but these guys are pretty lazy. I doubt they'll want to be pulled in different directions. You're the boss. Okay, everybody's lined up and ready to go. Any suggestions? You heard the man, people. Get focused. I've got the one at 11 o'clock. Raz, O'Hanrahan, take the two on the right. Poindexter, the center. Right. Exhale, squeeze. Focus on the shot. Thanks for the help. I think the whole unit's doing a lot better now. Wow, the big celebrity down here with the common troopers. What can I do for you? It helped, but we still got a grenade range inspection to pass. After the help you gave us at the shooting range, we'll take any advice you've got. I'll line them up. Okay, we've got our dummy grenades and the course is live. We're all set. Right, easy enough. 1, 2, 3. Solid arc. Check. Lob them up and over, people. Hold the grenades for groups, squad. Hit them in clusters and send them running. Yeah, I do. Thanks. I think we might survive this now.
Wish I had a first recon guy looking at me.
Wow, the big celebrity down here with the common troopers. Thanks to you, I think we're in good shape. The squad seems to be functioning much better as a unit now. We won't go quietly. The Legion can count on that.
Back west, you don't see too many of these. Lakes, I mean. Natural or man-made. Any kind, really. We neglected the dams or pumped all the water out a long time ago. Owens, Isabella, the San Luis. Drained the aquifers of everything they had. Just a lot of mud and dust now. It's a different feeling watching the sun come up over the water. Takes some getting used to. But if you're here long enough, it starts to seem normal. That's what a ranger's life is now. Looking east. You must be the courier folks have been talking about. Word on the radio is that someone wronged you back in Good Springs. The Mojave has a way of burning decent people up. But it sounds like you've done right by the NCR. It's appreciated. Now what can I do for you? Folks around here call me the chief, but handling's just fine. The Rangers run themselves pretty well, but I try to lend a hand. Mostly administrative work, helping coordinate intel on the radio. That and keeping an eye on the fires growing across the water. It's a simple system when it works. Patrol rangers radio intel to ranger stations. Comm rangers send the intel up the station chain until it reaches Camp Gulf. Then I or one of the other rangers on duty organize the data, evaluate it, and send information to camps or troopers in the field. Comm rangers might have an incomplete picture of the situation. There's a lot going on out there. Intel needs to be coordinated through Gulf so we can verify and advise appropriately. Troopers have enough to deal with. We don't want them questioning their intel. Shoot. Mojave Outpost sent word through the stations. The Rangers coming up from Baja moved through Dayglow a week ago. Some of the patrol rangers have reported that Oliver's power armor heavy troopers are starting to reinforce the front lines. Wish they got here a bit earlier, but that's a Senate for you. The Baja Rangers can do more advanced night scouting and sharpshooting to assist the troopers. Ranger combat helmets are old pre-war gear. They have built-in low-light optics. Makes a big difference. They have the best equipment the NCR can get its hands on. Power armor salvaged from our war with the Brotherhood. Techs strip out the joint servos so you don't need special training to wear it. It feels like you're carrying a Brahmin on your back, but it can take a heck of a lot of punishment. Shoot. The best of the best, worst of the worst. He came out of NCR, one of the followers of the apocalypse. Like a lot of the followers, he went out in the wilderness with a partner to try to help those who needed helping. Not much different from how the Rangers used to be, except with books and medicine instead of guns. Out to the Grand Canyon. He met a missionary from Utah, a man by the name of Joshua Graham. Graham helped translate for the followers and the tribes. All three of them got nabbed by the Blackfoots down there, back when they were still at war with every other tribe in the Southwest. Shoot. Word is that the Legion's old-timers have shown up. Caesar's veterans from the Red Okie Centuria and what was the Painted Rock tribe. They're the best of the best and the baddest of the bad. Short of a Centurion or Praetorian, they don't come any tougher. You come across a pack of them, weigh your options carefully. Take a regular legionary and age him 10 years. Whatever they lose to age, they make up for with experience. Life expectancy isn't long in the Legion. You live 10 years in Caesar's army, you're a force to be reckoned with. There's no real equivalent to them in the NCR. Centurions are battle-born elite officers who earn their rank with blood and sweat. They wear special outfits, too, pieced together from the armor of all their defeated enemies. Good commanders, tough opponents. Caesar's elite guard. They travel with him wherever he goes. A bit of insurance in case any of his guests get funny ideas. They aren't the toughest legionaries, but they're the most devoted to Caesar. They believe in everything the Legion stands for. Shoot. I could tell you a lot if you had the time, but at my age, I'm not sure which of us would get tired first. What do you want to know? Oh, well, I guess it must be coming up on 40 years or so. Back before Elise was chief, anyway. It was a heck of a lot harder then. Weren't as many of us to go around, but I think it was a lot easier to tell the good guys from the bad. Well, there's what we're supposed to be doing and what we're actually doing. There's a big gap between those two things. About as wide as that lake out there. protect against all forms of tyranny. As simple as that. 30, 40 years ago, the wasteland was full of despots. Slavers, raiders, tough-talking hoodlums with gangs who liked to kick around towns. Back then, the NCR military was still young. Couldn't cover much ground. It took groups like ours to tip the balance back to the good guys. Sitting on the shore of Lake Mead, looking east, listening to a radio, trying to not get too many people killed. I'm too old to be slapping leather, but I had hoped for something else. More than this, anyway. There's a lot of answers to that question, but it started with the Ranger Unification Treaty. We weren't always the only show in town. Nevada had its own posse, the Desert Rangers. They fought Caesar even farther east, out in Arizona. Years back, we met with the Desert Rangers at Mojave Outpost and agreed to help them against Caesar if they would join the NCR. Suppose it depends on what you think's good. Most folks want to hear about Hoover Dam and Boulder City, but it's a long story. If you want some tall tales about hunting down slavers or busting up gangs, talk to one of the younger Rangers. It's kind of a long one, but all right. About 20, 25 years ago, a group of NCR settlers pushed way south into Baja. I guess it doesn't seem so far now if you look at a map, but back then they were out of ways. They built this little shanty town around a well in the middle of nowhere. Called it Rattletail. Word got back to one of our stations that raiders had been attacking the place. I went out with 6 Rangers. We must have been on the trail for a week before we got to Rattletail. We lost one woman to night stalkers and another almost died of dehydration. When we reached the place, it's 6 shacks set up around an old well. There's over 24 bodies lying in the dunes way outside of town and 5 men with .308 rifles crouched behind sandbags. And these bodies, these people out in the sand, they aren't raiders, aren't even heavily armed. They're just people who were trying to get to the only well in 50 miles. I didn't have to talk to the men to see that they did not care one bit. They had planted an NCR flag over the well. They would not budge until every last one of them was laid out dead and cold. So I walked up and told them there was a group of raiders coming, 100 strong. I made up some cockamamie name for them and everything. The men looked at each other, looked at us, and asked me what we were going to do about it. I told them we would take them back into NCR territory because we'd already lost 10 Rangers on the way out. 10 Rangers, 5 men with .308 rifles. Well, that was enough for them. They packed up what they could and we took them back north. Last I heard, they settled somewhere in Anza Borrego. Raised bighorners. Had some tough times, but it worked out okay for them. So there you go. That's my one bit of good. In big battles, Caesar deploys his legionaries in waves. Recruits up front, prime soldiers behind the recruits, old guard bringing up the rear. Opponents wear themselves out dealing with the first 2 waves, if they survive that long. When the veterans step up, there's not much fight left. Caesar can adapt, though, and when required, he can run any mix of legionaries as skirmishers and still retain order in the ranks. Joshua Graham, Caesar's old legate, he wasn't so flexible. When the Legion attacked Hoover Dam, General Oliver ordered his troopers back to the middle ground just after first contact. Graham pushed all of the legionaries onto the dam, filling the east side with recruits up front and veterans in the back, by the book. But once they were in, they were stuck there. Oliver's troopers were entrenched and wouldn't give a foot. That's when we ordered the Rangers and the 1st Recon sharpshooters to start picking off veteran Legion officers from a high ridge west of the dam. That only lasted about a minute before Graham ordered the back ranks to push through to the front and rush the ridge. caused total chaos among the younger legionaries. Oliver's troopers fell back to the side walkways and stayed out of the veterans' way. By the time the veterans got to the ridge, we were already in Boulder City. They followed us down there, but we were out before they realized what was happening. We had packed the old city with C4 and dynamite. Crude, but it did the job. Those who didn't die in the blast were in no position to mount a defense. The ones left on the dam didn't know what to do. The troopers routed them. Graham pulled the remaining legionaries back, but the battle was over. He went south, back to the Grand Canyon, back to Caesar. And that was the last we saw or heard from Joshua Graham. Adios.
This post isn't someplace a civilian ought to be. Just the usual. Legion scouts try to slip across the river a couple of times a week, but they always end up floating downriver with holes in their heads. Ranger Station Alpha. Ranger Lineholm is in command here. I'm not really much of a historian. The short version is that the Rangers are the elite of the NCR military. Best fighters in the wasteland. All right. She radioed ahead and mentioned that somebody was coming by. Odd that she'd send a civilian instead of a trooper, though. Don't get killed out there. If you're here to sell something, we don't want any. This is the frontier of NCR territory, and we're the first line of defense. You won't find much in the way of civilization east of here. South of here is Camp Guardian, but they've been having radio trouble, so they've been silent for a while now. No problem. Hey, do me a favor when you get back to Reyes and tell her that we don't need any more damn ammo. Wouldn't mind more water, though. You think I haven't tried? Every time I do, Camp Golf acknowledges the situation. And soon after that, more ammo. We're not gonna die of thirst anytime soon, but I'd rather have too much than not enough. It's not my call to make. You'd have to clear it with Ranger Erickson. Alright? Careful out there. Hello.
What brings you to Ranger Station Bravo? We're here to make sure the Legion doesn't try to sneak around Lake Mead and come at NCR from another direction. You're not stationed here, but your rep with the NCR speaks for itself. It's mostly rifle rounds, but I'll throw in a few boxes of pistol ammo. I really shouldn't be doing this for you, but there's no way we're gonna use all of this or be able to carry it with us. Yep.
I'm not supposed to let civilians just walk around this place. There better be a good reason for you being here. I'm in charge of the radio, hence the title Comm Officer. I'd much rather be out on patrol since nothing much happens around here. Well, when there's trouble regular NCR troops can't handle, they send in a ranger. Problem solved. We're also responsible for keeping the borders of the NCR secure, scouting out threats, that sort of thing. Very well. You can tell Reyes that this station is secure.
Death to the Legion's enemies!
Glad that's over.
Morning. Gotta wonder what the hell a civilian is doing here. Ranger military outpost. We're keeping an eye on the Legion activities south of here at Cottonwood Cove. Nothing going on down there at the moment, just the usual slave trafficking. Poor bastards. Undoubtedly. Rangers are tough nuts to crack, though, and any force small enough to launch a surprise attack isn't going back in one piece. On the other hand, if the Legion goes for a full-scale attack, we'll see them coming, fall back, and wait for reinforcements. So we know what they'll do, and they know what we'll do, so we just sit around and keep an eye on each other. Believe me, I would love orders to take Cottonwood Cove apart and kick the Legion back across the river. But the brass at McCarran doesn't want us to waste resources on something they consider a minor target. So we just get to watch. What, again? Didn't I just change those damn things? Alright, fine. Show me the new codes.
Hello.
Hello, stranger. Don't seem to be too startled there. Most folks are at the sight of a super mutant. Name's Ranger Chauncey. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I get that a lot. We're not common, but the Rangers know how to make the best use of us. Always room for those willing to keep the peace, no matter how big they are. Well, after the Master was defeated, we had a lot of choices to make. I chose to use my strength for good, signed up with the Rangers. Wasn't easy, but I earned my place. I hail from Necropolis. After the Master's defeat, things were messy. I drifted for a bit, trying to find a new purpose. That's when I came across the Rangers. They were a stern lot, but fair. Gave me a chance when most wouldn't. Well, it has its ups and downs. People are scared of you, but on the flip side, boulders ain't so heavy. Also, my uniform is custom made, so there's that. A ranger's job is tough, but rewarding. Seeing the sunrise over the Mojave and knowing you're a part of the reason it's safe, there's nothing quite like it. We've had a few run-ins with the cons. Once they realize I'm a ranger, not a nightkin, they tend to back off. I suppose I'm a bit of a deterrent. Take care out there.
You're here for the money. I told the Emeritus I was good for it. I just need more time. I talked to the cashier at Gamora into forwarding me some chips. I was convinced I was due for a hot streak. It didn't go so well. The Emeritus were nice and said they'd give me some time to pay them back. They also said if they had to talk to me about my debt again, they wouldn't be nice the next time. I operate the radio and call it in if we see any great cons moving out in large groups from Red Rock Canyon. Oh, well, yeah, I can do that. Thanks. I don't want to talk about it. We were on patrol near the dam when a Legion raiding party jumped us. Didn't even have time to radio it in. I was hit in the head with a machete and knocked out. Didn't kill me, though some nights I wish it had. When I woke up, my nerve was gone. The rest of my squad was crucified, butchered, mutilated. I don't know how they missed me. Maybe they didn't. Maybe they knew they'd broken me. I gambled and drank a lot after that. Got into trouble, but the Rangers gave me a second chance instead of kicking me out. So here I am. Maybe, but thanks for saying it anyway. Watch out for great cons.
Welcome back. The station's been silent for quite some time now. I guess this confirms what we've all feared. Thanks for letting me know. I'll switch over all radio broadcasts to the new encrypted channels. This ought to help us stay a step ahead of any spies. Before you go, I've got another job available. We've received some disturbing reports from some of the ranger stations. Heavy casualties at Alpha, super mutant legionaries at Delta. The weirdest one has to be the Great Khans and their trained death claws at Foxtrot. These reports can't be accurate, can they? I know you've already been out there, but could you do me a solid and confirm these reports with the rangers who sent them in? Nothing is severe. Charlie seems to be getting a lot of extra medical supplies for some reason, while Bravo hasn't requested a resupply in a while. Echo has been reporting heavy Legion activity down on their end, but that's about it. Thank you, and good luck.
You've come back to see the Chief. Nice of you to humor the radio tender. What can I do for you? Interesting that she would wrangle someone else into sorting out the problem. But I suppose you're in the right place. A lot of intel comes through here. I don't know Technical Sergeant Reyes, but coordinating intel can be messy sometimes. Things get mixed up, people get confused. Heck, I get confused, and I've been doing this for a long time now. What he or she sees as a problem might be standard operating procedure. That's not to say Reyes is wrong for being concerned, but it's easy for the sand to get in your eyes out here. Well, the logical thing to do is to check with the patrol rangers and comm officers. Don't be too discouraged if some things don't match up. Different people see different things, and sometimes the meaning gets twisted. Lost in static from person to person.
This is a military outpost. Why are you here? High casualties? We've had one broken ankle, but nobody at this post has died. Any injury, illness, or death gets radioed to Ranger HQ at Camp Golf. Chief Hanlon and his aides compile the reports and assign reinforcements as needed, and they're not needed here. There are other ranger posts around. Reyes might have mixed up the report. Do a fucking head count then. Everybody's right where they're supposed to be. Reyes got the numbers wrong. Not much more to it than that.
No run-ins with the Great Khans, I hope. They've been more restless than usual. Yeah, it's a damn shame. There was a lot of talk about expelling her from the Rangers, especially once the gambling and drinking started. Being posted here is her second and last chance, and so far, I'm not impressed. Link's jumpy all the time, and the others are sick of it. You must be mistaken. I haven't filed any report like that. Trained death claws? I would have remembered that. If someone is saying I filed that report, that's a load of crap. I won't have my name attached to a clerical error.
No sudden moves, and you and I will do all right. What do you want? No, I didn't. You might hear that kind of nonsense from a drunk trooper on the strip, but not from me. The Legion doesn't have super mutants. That patrol was wiped out by its own incompetence. A couple of the troopers were fooling around with a grenade when it went off.
Welcome back. I knew it. Every one of the false reports was signed off by Chief Hanlon at Camp Golf. But why would the Chief manipulate the reports? I need you to take everything we found to Chief Hanlon and confront him with it. I don't want to make this public unless we have to.
You've come back to see the Chief. Hold on. If we're gonna have this conversation, let's go somewhere more private. Don't worry, not much bite left in this old dog.
Quiet. The Legion can count on that.
Sorting and manipulating intelligence is what I do. It's what Rangers are supposed to do. This job isn't all gunfighting and gulping shots of whiskey, no matter what the boys and ladies out there say. You have you? Misdirection. When you're pinned down, outnumbered, and 2 days from any help, it's just about the best friend you can have. Misdirection's what saved me all these years. It's what saved us at Hoover Dam. But it's been 5 years now, and Caesar's right across that lake. He's closer now than he ever was before. I was a young man once. I know what it's like to want to fight for your home. But this isn't it. People back home don't listen. They don't care. Senators, Brahmin barons, folks who are just trying to make it from day to day. It's been so many years that people forget about it. Conscription brings in fresh troops to die here every month, like it's routine. And even if we hold this dam, what then? Are we going to send the NCR's men and women to die here for another 5 years? 10? Patrol the whole length of the Colorado for hundreds of miles? Holding this dam, it'll be the death of us. It's never going to end, this fight with Caesar. People back home don't know what these young men and women are in for. The Legion is the worst enemy we've ever faced. But we can't stop Caesar here. Not without getting a lot of good people killed. More than anyone cares to count up. But even if we do stop him, I don't see how we're ever going to be able to pull out. We're fighting on their behalf, but Mr. House and the families are stringing us up inch by inch. They'll drain us dry while we fight and die over this dam. We offered them sanctuary in NCR territory before, but they won't listen. Troopers and Rangers have been dying here for more than 5 years while the families sit pretty behind that damn wall. First thing that comes to mind is to turn me in. But that might not be the best play, all things considered. Even if your heart's in the right place, I reckon it might do a lot more harm than good. Oliver can't stand that Rangers got credit for victory at Hoover. Whatever I recommend, he does the opposite. I said I wanted us on the ridge. He put them right on the western part of the dam itself. We don't have enough firepower to hold that spot. If the troopers fall back, and they will, the Rangers will advance to cover Oliver's retreat. We lose the dam, Oliver and the center are ruined. Rangers are volunteers. Every man and woman who signs up is willing to die for the NCR, myself included. A lot of this is my fault. It's only right that I stand with them. I don't know if you're working for Caesar, or if desperation's made me a heck of a lot more persuasive. Either way, this is the right thing to do. Now, I trust we're done discussing this. I'm gonna step through that door and pretend like we never had this talk.
Hey, what did Chief Hanlon have to say about those false reports we uncovered? The Chief? But he's a legend. I guess if he's got a plan behind it all, who am I to question it? I won't say a word about it to anyone else.
Back already? What do you need? Are you ready? Thanks for your help. We have more than enough men to take those Legion bastards. Excellent. Killing the Legion commanders in Nelson will severely cripple the Legion forces and allow us to take back the city. Meet up with Sergeant Cooper just outside Nelson. He will assist you in reclaiming Nelson.
I've heard of you. Glad to have you on our side. We don't have many troops, so we can only attack from one direction. Where should we focus the attack? Our main target is the Legion leader at Nelson. Intel has the commander as one Dead Sea. I've uploaded his last known location to your Pip-Boy. Let's move out!
Evening. Over here! Contact!
it's over.
Die, coward!
That was some battle. Glad to have you on our side. We couldn't have taken back Nelson without your help. You have my thanks.
Looks like...
Back already? What do you need? The initial reports have come back already. Excellent work. This will buy us a lot of breathing room to get back on our feet here. Now we can actually try to strengthen our forces along the river and prepare for the upcoming battle at Hoover Dam. You have my thanks. We owe you a lot. I'd like to give you something to thank you for helping us. You're welcome. Enjoy.